At a speaking event, Grant Cardone recently just went in hard on everybody that makes $400,000 a year or less. He said, if you make $400,000 a year or less, you're a terrible father, a terrible husband, terrible human. He would be embarrassed by himself. You should be embarrassed if you make that much or less. You can't live off that much. So in this video, we're going to break down what Grant Cardone said. I'm going to tell you my reaction. I'm going to share some advice on what you should do if you're offended by what Grant Cardone said. All right, first up, here is the video.
I would be embarrassed with myself as a husband, a father, basically as a human being. 400 grand. How do you make sense of $35,000 a month? You guys haven't done the math. You have not done the math because you cannot live on 400 grand a year.
All right. So first of all, if you are offended by this, if you're offended by Grant Cardone, my advice for you, don't be offended. He's not talking to you. He is a salesman. He is at some kind of speaking event, a sales tactic, a sales strategy to get people to sign up for his courses or his investments or whatever he does. I honestly don't follow the guy. This is a tactic to just get people talking about him. Obviously say, bold statements or whatever, and instill fear in people and make them feel like, he's got the answers. He's this major success. He makes all this money. You can't do that without him. So you need him. You need to sign up for his stuff. So just remember that. And that's a lesson for everybody, right? Like when you hear these polarizing things, there's usually an agenda behind them. And the bottom line is this, right? Like I am not offended. My parents never together made more than $100,000 a year growing up. My mom was a teacher. My dad worked in maintenance for the school board. I graduated college and joined the Air Force as an officer in the military and started off making around $40,000, maybe $50,000. My wife is a nurse and has never made more than $100,000 a year. Even today together, we don't make more than $400,000 a year, right? I'm not offended. I'm extremely proud of my military service. I'm extremely proud of my parents and thankful for them and for the jobs that they did. I'm proud and thankful for teachers who will never make $400,000. I'm proud and thankful for all nurses, all frontline defenders, all good, hard-working people doing any job that just are trying to provide a benefit and a value to society. I am proud of you and thankful for you. And what one person or anybody thinks of you, and if they say you should be embarrassed, like that doesn't impact you in any way and should not offend you in any way. What you should be proud of is the work that you do, the family that you have, your own accomplishments, your own goals. Those are the things that you should be proud of, and nobody can give that to you or take that away, right? Second, it is very true that life is getting more expensive in the United States and in a lot of places in the world, and that making more money certainly does help people with convenience. It helps you feel a sense of proudness because you're able to contribute and help take care of a family, right? But there's that making or not making money doesn't make you a good or bad person, right? And if bad people make more money, they tend to be even worse people. If good people make more money, they tend to use that money to then spread goodness and be even better people. And obviously there's exceptions in both cases, right? Okay, kind of the second big area, right, is I think in a lot of this, like first of all, Grant Cardone and people that are like mega wealthy, over hundreds of millions of dollars, are just out of touch with reality. And he probably doesn't even have a realistic concept of what making a lot of money is like. And so for him and his own personal situation and his own budget and expenses, I'm sure he could not live on $400,000 a year. I'm sure he would be embarrassed by making $400,000 a year, because if you're saying that, then you probably associate the amount of money that you make with who you are as a person, who you are as a human. And I know that there was some stuff about him being a fraud and frauding people. I don't know I think he even went to jail. I'm not sure. Honestly, I don't follow the guy, but if money is your North Star and your guiding factor, then of course, if you don't make a certain amount or you can't maintain the lifestyle you have, you are an embarrassment. You are an embarrassment as a father, a human. I don't know if he's a father or not, but I'm sure he's just surfacing feelings he has and insecurities he has of himself, even that he has right now with all the money he makes, and just sharing that broadly, right? So I think beyond just the sales tactic, like he is just sharing some insecurities he has about himself and his own life and his own worth as a human. And that's fine. He is welcome to do that. My advice for Grant, if he cares to take it, is to just remember, like maybe be more thoughtful about the things that you say and where you say it and how you say it, right? And I know you're marketing and it's a tactic and you're obsessed about money, but there's there's nobody in the military, in our military, and no firefighters, no police officers, no nurses that I know of in anywhere in America or probably anywhere else that make more than $400,000 a year from their careers. And so, even though you're not technically hurting anybody by what you're saying, just maybe be a little bit more mindful and thoughtful of the things that you do say, because people do get offended and hurt by it. And people have just been through a lot right now. People are stressed out, and they don't really need to be made, to feel worse about themselves because they're unable to make as much money as you think is acceptable. I get that you want to motivate people and sell people and make more money and get people to sign up for your courses or invest in whatever you do, whatever. I get it. I get all that, and that's fine. And if you want to continue doing this, then fine, continue doing it. But if you do care about treating people well and being a positive benefit to society, then just think about bringing some more positive energy and not talking down on people just because of them not making $400,000 a year. The other thing is he's a business owner, right? And so if you're a business owner and not a full-time employee, then $400,000 is actually a lot less than it's probably, if you make $200,000 as a full-time paid employee with benefits, that's probably you're probably bringing in as much or more money than a business owner that makes $400,000 a year. And so it is important to remember that context too and what he's talking about. He is probably associating that with being a business person and the amount of tax you have to pay and responsibilities you have. But still, just be a little bit more thoughtful and tactful with what you say, Grant. I would love to talk to you on this channel as a veteran, as somebody who has never made that much and hopes to make that much someday. And I do have this kind of probably unfair opinion of you because I haven't really studied you, that you're kind of just a jerk and kind of somebody that I would never want to actually follow or listen to. That's my opinion just from the clips I've seen of you, and I know that's probably not a complete opinion. So would love to get to know you more. I think if I studied you more, maybe there's more inspiration there and a deeper level. And so would be open to talking to you if you wanted to spend that time. And, just talking to you from the standpoint of somebody that has served our country and has had parents as teachers and a wife in healthcare, that will never make your threshold of 400K, and just kind of let you know, hey, how might have people heard that and what was really your intent and what were you trying to say? Because maybe you were trying to say something completely different and I'm way off with this. Would love to just have a respectful dialogue and discussion with you.